In this edition of the BCA Club School of the Month, we go to Ashton Hall, St. Peter, to visit the Coleridge and Parry School, an institution that has produced Omar Phillips and a host of other talented cricketers. We are excited. This is We. I'm here at the Coleridge and Parry School in the Northern Parish with Mr. Dennis Springer, a long-standing administrator and friend. How are you doing, Dennis?
I'm not doing too bad.
It's really exciting to come back to this part of the island and to see you who've been, I believe, at this school for close to 3 decades. Dennis, I want to find out your association with the Coleridge and Parry School over the years. When did it start?
It started in 1993, August 1993, when I was approached by Mr. Keith Boyce. He asked me if I wanted to be a groundsman. I said yes. He said, okay, I have a job for you at Coleridge and Parry School. And I readily accepted the job. And since I got here, I haven't regretted it. I haven't regretted the job at all. I love the job. And I had a lot of pleasure of doing coaching and doing the groundsman work.
It's indeed a pleasure to be here at the Coleridge and Parry School with Principal Miss Sandra Goodridge. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's indeed a pleasure to have you.
I always love the North. When I come down this part of the island, it gives me an openness, a freshness. And your involvement at the school, you're a principal here. You've got, I believe, just about 3 decades of experience in the teaching profession.
Exactly 30 years.
I want to know what pleasure it gives you to be part of an administration of a school with some close to 900 students.
Well, I think it was always what I wanted to do. I was a teacher. I got a start. I don't want to mention which institution, but I got a start at 18. I was approached because of a grade that I had in geography at the time, and geography was not a subject that a lot of people did. So a particular institution, well, several, but this particular one got me to go there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So after that, I went off and I did my degree and came back armed with geography and continued teaching, and I've loved it ever since.
Well, you now call 2 areas there, coaching, groundsman work, which really brings the best out of any young person. In the time that you were here, is there anyone cricketer that you can remember from the Coleridge and Parry School that would have stood out?
Well, you asked about one, but I would say there were plenty, because I can start with Omar Phillips, who have played for Barbados, and he went on to play for the West Indies. He also captained the CCC, so he did well. You also had Ronaldo Paris. He played cross-cutter cricket for the West Indies on the 15 back in 2000, 2001. He went to England. Then we had Javon Sirs, and now we have just put Rashawn Primus into the Barbados team, who also played for Trinidad and Guyana Amazon.
Well, Dennis, you called some wonderful names there, and quite recently there was a young man, I believe, by the name of Kyron King, was part of the under-17 Barbados Double Crown Regional Champions. What do you think about Kyron King's ability and that of any other of the current cricketers at the school?
Right now, Kyron King, he is special talent. To tell you the truth, he has so much pace. He loves cricket. He's a good batsman. He's a good, he can wicket keep, he can bowl fast, and he is a good opening batsman. And I believe that if Kyron King get proper handling, he will make it in the West Indies team probably in the next 2 years.
Wonderful.
I have that amount of confidence in his ability to go far in cricket at a very young age. Right now we have a youngster named by the name of Zarel Harding. He's a very good talent, special talent, just 13, 14 years old. He bowls very fast. If you see his run-up, he's also coached by Corey Calmo.
Wonderful.
And he have a lot of talent. So like I said, if he have the right guidance, he will go a long way also.
Wonderful. Well, a school with almost 900 persons in terms of students. I just had a quick chat with Mr. Dennis Springer, who's a long-standing coach, and he made some very glowing remarks about the school and your involvement. I want to find out from you, what is the passion you have, if any, for the sport of cricket?
Oh, I am a fanatic, not a fan. When I came to Coleridge and Parry, in my introductory remarks to the school that first morning, I actually said to them that I'm a fanatic, not a fan. I must admit that I didn't get out to as many games, but I think the cricket for me over the years, my family was into cricket. I have an Uncle Lloyd that I only learned when I was about 15 that he was never Lloyd at all. It was just his batting stance. I have family that my dad always had this red mark on his pants that I couldn't understand. It was because he was bowling. So everybody in the family loves cricket. I have uncles overseas who come in for cricket games. So I think the passion was birthed when I was a child. But I was also a member of YMPC and then went over to Banks at one point, and I would go to cricket every weekend. It's just because of the job that I can't do it as much. And I've gotten older too, but I spent many years fixing tea and helping with anything that the guys at YMPC would have wanted at the time through a neighbor.
Well, one of the things that I always admired about you, I remember many years ago, you called me and Keith Boyce earlier. Keith Boyce was the coach of the combined schools, and a group of us will come here. This is back in the mid-90s. You've always been a very approachable person, a person who really looks after the best interests of the players. My question to you, Dennis, the satisfaction that you would get from interacting with these young people, what really makes you tick to do what you do for such a long time?
First thing, I love my job. Once you put love into your whatever you're doing, you're going to succeed. I come here every morning at 5 o'clock to start to prepare pitch. And then in the afternoon, I would start coaching. I love what I was doing. And that came from Keith Boyce, because Keith Boyce said to me, Mr. Spring, now he didn't call me that name, he called me by my nickname. He said, I want you to help coach the Parry cricket back on the map. So I want you to do everything possible. And if there's anything that you need to know or you want to know, just come approach me and I will give you some tips. And from there, I could see that I really enjoyed what I was doing.
But that's important, as you said, having that love. But the support from the administration of the school, through 30 years, you would have probably gone through a number of principals. But let's talk about the current principal and the time that you've been here. What type of support has she given to the sport at Coleridge Parry School?
I can't remember the year that she arrived here. I think about 7 years ago. But when she came, we went to on the 13 funnels. She was so happy, she was so into the whole cricket team that she had managed the team. And that was so nice of her that she could have come in. And she knew a lot about cricket. She had a lot of records about other players from others, probably Barbados and West Indies. And it was good to have her in the midst. And I got a lot of support from her. When she came in, she didn't try to stop me from doing anything. She made sure that I was satisfied in my job. And that's something that I love about her.
But this school, both boys and girls, I know over the time of being a coach that some females don't come and actually participate in the game as they could. But have there been any of those young female cricketers or any young talented persons that would have come around during your 30 years?
Well, I was approached by some girls that were going to school here back in the time, and they wanted to play cricket, but it has so much on my hands. Yes. At one time, I could remember upon the evening, I used to be coaching 30 youngsters by myself. And it was too much then for me to take on them and take on girls. But I wanted to, but if I had more help, I would have gone through that process. But let me say something. When I first got here in 1993, I had 2 female teachers that used to manage one of my teams, because we had a second division and an intermediate. And when they have no lessons to teach, and we have on the 15th or on the 13th during the week, they will come out and help me manage those teams. And it was very beautiful of them to see have teachers. And to tell you, the whole staff, by the time I came here to 2023 that I leave, I had good support from everybody at this school. And that's one thing that I really wanted to mention, that all the staff, principals and teachers alike, really supported me.
Well, that's wonderful, because I was just going to ask you, apart from, getting your hands more or less dirty with the run the day-by-day activities at the school, you also, as you said, did it at the club level.
Yes.
But this school, for me, being wonderfully placed in the north, what have you, in the years of not just being a teaching profession, but being principal at this school, what do you want to contribute to the development of these young people at the school?
I want my students to believe that they can do anything that they put their minds to. When I got here, I had this focus on extracurricular activities. We have 30, and we are always looking for things to add. We just added worry. I mean, it's anything that anybody suggests to us that can be done for student development, we do. I say to people all the time, I went to school because of the number of clubs that I was in. I had to go, yes, but I looked forward to every evening having a different activity, whether it was Girl Guides or Key Club or whatever. Every day was something. I wasn't the best in the sports,
yes,
but I learned how to play volleyball and hurt my hands. I learned how to score for cricket. So there were so many things that you were involved in. I believe that children involved in extracurricular activities will not get themselves in any trouble.
That's interesting.
As it relates to sports, anytime we have a child that's misbehaving and they go into a sport, highly unlikely that any bad behavior will continue. So I believe strongly that a child should be involved in a physical activity as well as a club. And that's what we say here at the Coleridge and Parry School.
Well, Dennis Springer, you would have done a wonderful job here at the Coleridge and Parry School. My final question to you would be, are you available to this school or any other entity going forward to keep in the development of cricket on the island?
Well, I have promised North Stars, my hometown, my community, that I will going to come back and give some help to them. But I cannot leave out Coleridge and Parry. My heart is rooted in Coleridge and Parry School. I love dealing with these young boys. I get a lot of respect from them, a lot of respect. And they love me also, I love them back. So anytime, I've told the principal so too, that anytime she want me to come back and help give back to the school, I'm willing to give back to the school.
Well, Dennis Springer, it's been indeed a pleasure. You're a stalwart, a champion. I know that they honored you quite recently with a retirement function, but I want to wish you all the very best as you continue to do the wonderful work for Barbados' cricket.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure also talking to you.
Well, a little bit about your school motto: let they who excel receive their praise.
Yes.
So everything you've said thus far shows that you're in line and focused with what the school motto is. My final question for you today is, where do you see the Coleridge and Parry School, not only just under your administration, maybe the next 2 to 3 years going forward?
Well, let me honor those who went before me. Let me start there, because Coleridge and Parry has a rich tradition. It's not every sport that is up at the same time, but we have a rich tradition of athletics. We have a rich tradition of all the sports over the years. It is not, for example, we just restarted basketball after a decade.
Wow.
The first match, the children didn't get any points. The second match, they got 2. And we made them feel that they were kings. We applauded them for just being in the competition. By the third match, that was against the Ellerslie School, we lost by 4. 34 to 30. So by the fourth match against Graydon Sealy, we were up by 11. You understand?
Yes.
The thing is to make sure that they know we are going to support you no matter how you're doing. It is about involvement first.
Yes.
After you're involved, then you can excel. And we know people laughed at how they performed at the first few matches, but we said, look, these children are generally under 16. We're playing in an under 19 competition. Wait until under 16 comes around. By then, they would have had practice. So for us, it is about ensuring that the children know it is not just coming to school to just be in the classroom. I want them to do anything. And if they come to me, right now our hockey program is not up, but the children have come, 1 or 2 national players have come and said, Mom, we want to do hockey as well. So we're looking to get involved now and to get the hockey program back up and running. We have every other sport that you can think of here, and we're trying to ensure that we have whatever the children want to do. And I believe strongly that you just get students involved and you'll have less trouble.
Well, I want to say it's been indeed a pleasure coming down to the Coleridge and Parry School in Ashton Hall, St. Peter, to speak with you, Ms. Goodridge. I want to ask and really encourage you and your team to continue with the wonderful work. And we at the Barbados Cricket Association really take it as a privilege to be part of this institution. Well,
thank you for doing this interview. And I really want to say that as a member of the BCA since 1997, I will continue to support that game and any game. I don't have to understand everything. I still don't know what offside is, but in other games, sometimes I get things wrong, but the whole idea is to support the children in whatever they do.
I want to thank you again.
You're welcome. Blessings on you.